morning, everyone. I'm Janine Haas, and on behalf of our 15,000 worldwide employees, welcome to the Gulfstream Media Brief. It's a really special and exciting time for us, so thank you all for being here, and we're really excited to share our news with you. Let's get started. I'd just like to introduce our team. Mark Burns, our president of Gulfstream. Dan Nail, our senior vice president, program engineering and test. And Derek Zimmerman, our product support president. We have a few other Gulfstream leadership team members that I'd like to acknowledge. Dan Clare, our chief financial officer. Ira Berman, our general counsel. Dennis Stulegros, our senior vice president of operations. Lita Chong, our senior vice president of government programs. And Scott Neal, our senior vice president of worldwide sales. We really look forward to seeing all of you later today and hope you'll come out and visit us both at the Static as well as in our exhibit. And I'd like to start off by turning it over to Mark to share some of the exciting things we have today at the Static.
Well, first off, thank everybody for joining us. Very important week for us. I felt like going into this, we've never had a more compelling story than we have today. We'd like to tell you a little bit of that in a more casual environment and give you a chance to ask questions at the end. As we came to this show, we had a lot of preparation. We brought to the show the first G500 and 600 fully outfitted with a very customer-centric interior design that we worked many years on with our customer advisory board, 135 customers giving their input into what turned out to be two incredible cabin experiences. So we invite you to come out, open house this afternoon to see the two new airplanes. They look absolutely incredible. I want to talk about a very important day for us. Last December, on a very crisp morning, Dan Nail and I had the opportunity to watch the very first flight of G600. And first flights, if you're an aviation person, are always exciting. But to be able to do that with the G500 as the chase airplane on that day was just incredible. There were about 40 of us outside as the airplane took off. And it was one of those memorable moments that happened kind of once in a lifetime. And just to think that less than 8 months later, we've got a fully outfitted airplane here along with the sister ship, the G500. Just an incredible story for us, a story of discipline and rigor to our process, dedication by our people to be able to make those things happen. We announced these airplanes in 2014, at the end of 14, and to be here today in 2017 with these airplanes is just a testament to the team of people that we all get to work with. I'll walk you a little bit through the cabins of the airplane. So there's the 500 cabin. Again, a lot of customer input into the cabin. That you feel the width of the airplane as you walk through the airplane. Some new designs throughout the airplane with a number of the features that are found on the G650 airplane today. The next one is the G600, so it'll look a little different design-wise. The cabin width is the same, but the look and feel will be different as you get a chance to walk through those airplanes today. We're also excited to bring one of our new G650 demonstrator, a 4-cabin airplane with an incredible interior in it. It shows beautifully. It is a culmination of many months of work by our design team, and it shows the 650 and what we built the airplane for. So take a chance to look at that as well. In addition, we have an all-new demonstrator for the G550 as well here at the show. Incredible airplane, a real workhorse powerhouse airplane for us. We built over 550 550s, ironically. The airplane is just an incredible performer each and every day. And then also our mid-cabin entry, the G280. So over 100,000 flight hours already with the airplane. We've delivered over 110. So the airplane continues to be a strong performer. It is the airplane that we operate as a corporate airplane for us, and it is an absolute time machine for us. It does everything we say it will do and more.
Thank you, Mark. This year, we're showcasing a lot of innovation and very immersive experiences at both our static as well as our convention center display. Derek, would you take us through and explain some of what people will see?
Absolutely, Janine. I think whether your interests are as a pilot or as a technician or as a passenger, this year's exhibit has an interactive experience specifically for you. On the first stage, we're going to focus on flight deck and cabin technology, and you can experience both our plane deck and plane view systems. You can explore some new features and solutions, such as enhanced navigation and synthetic vision 2.0, as well as the roadmap for regulatory compliance to the pending mandates. You can also experience the cabin connectivity advantages of the new JetConnect's KA system, now available for both G650 and G550, and our recently unveiled connectivity series. On our second stage, you can fly the Gulfstream G500. You sit down in the pilot seat, put one hand on the award-winning active control side stick and the other on the throttle quadrant. You don a virtual reality headset, and you get a fully immersive flight simulation of this incredible aircraft. And on the third stage, we're also leveraging virtual reality to take you behind the scenes of the Gulfstream G650 in order to demonstrate new maintenance, training capabilities and opportunities to promote safety and dispatch reliability. And of course, if you want to configure and outfit your new aircraft, we've got a team of designers and an interactive experience for you as well.
Great. It's going to be incredible, and I invite you all to come out and experience it for yourself. As I mentioned earlier, this is a special time for Gulfstream. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, we celebrated our anniversary of 50 years in Savannah. And next year, we'll celebrate another milestone with 60 years as an organization. So quite an exciting time for us. Mark, you've been here for nearly 40 years. What, in your words, has sort of changed the most in your time?
You know, the picture you see on the screen, when I and Dan also arrived about the same time in the early 80s, it didn't look a whole lot different than that by 1982. We built the G2 there, we built the G3 there, the G2B. We built the G4 series and G5 series in that building that you're looking at. And you know, there's a very long history in our airplanes and the reliability and quality that we build in to the airplanes, and we're all very, very proud of that. But I'll tell you, the pivotal moment in the history of our company is 1999 when General Dynamics purchased Gulfstream. It took a company with incredible ideas. It gave them the funding to make that a reality. And then by 2003, we had actually developed a long-term plan for what our business was going to become. And very shortly after that, we started designing the G650, and then the 500 and the 600. And this is just the beginning of that story. We're fortunate that we have a parent company that believes in our team, that has seen the success of good ideas come to fruition, and we're very excited about that. You know, several $billion later, we're about a little bit short of 16,000 employees, almost 8,000 of those in Savannah. We've built an R&D center that I believe is second to none in our industry. We have grown that force through Dan's leadership to be a very stable engineering force that gives us the ability to develop airplanes with discipline. We've added completion capacity through Dennis's, Stuagros's leadership. We have a very robust team of leaders in our manufacturing area. We've grown our service business. It's become over $1 billion business for us now, the service industry, through Derek's leadership. We are committed to business aviation. We continue to grow our company based on that confidence that General Dynamics has in us. But that's the legacy, and there's something romantic about that. But the future is what we're about, and to continue to invest in that long-range plan that we developed in 2003. I believe that when you're in this position that we find ourselves in, that you have to be a leader in the industry, you have to be an advocate for business aviation. I believe the designs of these high-speed airplanes, the 650, 500, 600, our commitment to reliability really has transformed the industry that we all participate in. These airplanes are different than anything before. The very first time we sat and talked about a G650 and subsequently the 500 and 600, we talked about a quantum leap forward. How do we take an airplane like the 450 and 550? They're very reliable and very robust in what they're able to do, but how do we take a quantum leap forward? What do we do to design a different airplane? And the 650 became that. There's new technology in the 500 and 600 that we developed through our R&D center. I believe that the experience that you're going to see this afternoon in the cabin is every bit as equivalent to that airplane as ever before. The interiors are absolutely unmatched. And then I'll finish with this segment with what I would term the Gulfstream way. And we talk about this a lot internally. Our one value as a company is integrity. That we want to be good stewards of what we've been given. We want to meet our promises. And if we say an airplane will deliver on a certain date, we want to be able to hold that promise. That is who our people expect us to be. We have to be advocates for our industry as well. There's a number of things that are facing our industry today that are important drivers for future success. And I believe that as a company, we need to continue to advocate for those things that grow the business of business aviation in our country. We have to continue to invest. So the things you will see this week are not the end. We have to continue to invest in products and services and manufacturing technology and make sure that our business continues to grow. But we have to do that in a disciplined way. We have to be good stewards, again, of what we've been given. So our business practices are focused on having value for our customers, value for our employees, and value for our shareholders at the end of the day. So we're proud of the Gulfstream way. I believe it's prevalent no matter where you go in our facilities, and it's something that is ingrained in the culture of Gulfstream.
In fact, I'd say it's what really differentiates Gulfstream. And as you see throughout our conversation today, those elements put into practice is really the way it translates for our customers. And one of the ways is through our new products. So with our combined investment that Mark talked about and our disciplined approach, we're in a unique situation where we are simultaneously bringing 2 aircraft to market for the second time, which we think is pretty remarkable. Mark, would you like to tell us a little more about how continuous improvement helps our environment?
You know, I talked about the culture of Gulfstream, and one of the things that is part of that culture is continuous improvement. Through Dennis and Derek's leadership, Dan's leadership, and the focus of designing, building, and servicing airplanes, that focus has to be on making it better today than it was yesterday. And that is a commitment for us. And you saw that in the past in the G650, where we delivered an airplane that was 1,000 nautical miles better at high speed than we committed to our original customers. We've been fortunate that we've been ahead of schedule on the 500 and 600. The engineering staff has been very focused on continuing to improve the airplanes as we go. From the time that we did the preliminary design and set the parameters of range and speed for these airplanes, we haven't stopped with the design. We've continued to focus on how do we improve the airplanes overall. So we're proud today to announce that there's some better airplanes than we promised. The G600 will go to a 6,500 mile airplane at 8.5 and over 5,000 miles at Mach 0.90. Incredible performance growth for us. The G500 goes from a 5,000 mile airplane at 8.5 to a 5,200 mile airplane today. And incredibly, at Mach .90, the airplane now is a 4,400 nautical mile airplane, a 600-mile jump forward in the capability of that airplane. The testing that Dan and his team have done has been incredible. It is proven that there are opportunities as we shape the airplane and as we tweak systems on the airplane, that the airplanes were better than our preliminary design, and we're excited about the opportunity that this airplane opens up. Both of these airplanes open up around the world. Several new city pairs come into play with the additional range, and you'll see that in some of the media briefings that we'll hand out later. But thank you to Dan, thank you to the flight test team. A lot of hard work over the last few years to bring these airplanes up to the standard that you see here today.
Clearly, our flight test programs are going incredibly well, and we wanted to capture that excitement for you on this video. Dan, would you like to give us an update on the flight test?
I sure would. So after that introduction by Mark, wanted to acknowledge Mark Bowler, who's the Vice President of Programs at 500 600 in the back room. But I also wanted to highlight that with the investment that General Dynamics has made in the Gulfstream and the talented folks that we have working on these products has absolutely been a pure pleasure. The 500, we have 5 aircraft flying in the program, T1 through T4. I have flown on T5, absolutely marvelous aircraft. We have more than 995 flights completed. We've achieved an altitude over 53,000 feet. And the longest flight, which was actually achieved this week, was a record run from London to Las Vegas. And that's the 10 hours and 19 minutes that's shown here. So absolutely impressive. The flight test program, as Mark had highlighted, we've got the 4 aircraft that are completing the flight test program. We've completed the interior validation with our aircraft that's here on static, that Naveed is over here on the right has done an excellent job on. All the ultimate testing and static testing has been completed on the aircraft and has exceeded our expectation, and also has been a contributor to this additional range performance that Mark had highlighted. Structural fatigue testing is underway on the aircraft and staying ahead of the fleet. We have serial production that is working right now, and Dennis and his folks are doing a fabulous job in incorporating that, and certainly the certification testing is in the final phase. All of the handling qualities on the aircraft have performed extremely well. We have a couple of our pilots over here, Colin Miller as well, and Scott Evans. But the aircraft has performed extremely well. The field performance, the low speed performance, the long range cruise. We've done the noise surveys to demonstrate the quietness of the aircraft. That's been fabulous. Pratt & Whitney is here. The engines are performing extremely well. We're very proud of that. So we've got the engine operability, the air starts, as well as the performance testing is underway. The systems testing is also underway, and we're completing that phase of the program. Like we've completed with our G280 on steep approach into London City, and we've also done the development testing on our G650 to offer that program later next year. We're also completing the steep approach testing on these aircraft as well, so they will have that capability on entry into service. Water ingestion testing has been completed, and we've completed all the flutter testing. So very proud of this aircraft. It's going extremely well, and we're continuing to see the progress. The next phase on this program will be the one that will do 2 things. The first thing will be, we'll incorporate all the changes that we have right now that have led up to the final configuration. We will enter in the 4th quarter what is called the function reliability testing, which actually demonstrates all that. And then combined with that, as well as the performance enhancement that Mark had talked to, we'll incorporate all those to basically complete the certification program early next year. And the G600 is, the sister ship is doing extremely well. As you can imagine, the commonality associated with this aircraft between the engines being the Pratt & Whitney 815 engines, as well as the flight deck and the common type rating, and all of the derivative items that are common between the 500. This aircraft is going well, and as a matter of fact, it is benefiting every day from everything that's been accomplished and achieved on the G500. Mark had mentioned about that remarkable day in December, which happened to also be the anniversary of the first flight of the Wright approach. And from that time in December to the end of August, we've actually achieved 5 aircraft in the flight test program. So averaging just under 2 months to put an additional aircraft in the program, which is tremendous. The other thing that's tremendous about this, I had the opportunity to fly here on the G600, which is on the static display. Absolutely amazing aircraft. So quiet, you can't hear the engines. The conversations from the front of the airplane to the back of the airplane, you have to be careful what you say because everyone can hear you. And the performance was amazing. So we have continued to utilize our test labs with integration test facility. The structural testing has been completed. The commonality continues to benefit with a common type rating in the cockpit. And certainly the serial production is underway to actually support what will be the entry into service of this aircraft in 2019. So extremely proud of this aircraft and the work that we're seeing.
Just amazing and fabulous accomplishments. And speaking of amazing, as I said, it was a special time for Gulfstream. It's also the 5th year anniversary of our G650 type certification and entry into service. It is quite remarkable. Dan, would you like to build a little about this amazing aircraft?
So Mark has mentioned many times how the game changer in business aviation, the G650, and the fact that when the aircraft was announced that we had more than 200 firm orders. And we've continued to see the progress in this aircraft for the range capability with offering an additional 1,000 miles at the 9.0 when we actually introduced the aircraft. We've seen in 2014 where we actually introduced the ER, where we added 6,400 nautical miles as the range of the aircraft at 9.0 and 75 at 8.5. So this aircraft has not only been a remarkable performer, but it continues to demonstrate a tremendous amount of city pair ranges, which we'll talk about here in a minute, but the aircraft just continues to perform great wherever it is, and we're very proud of this aircraft.
In fact, there really is no other aircraft quite like it, and I think this video tells it all.
So we had to get that volume up a little just to make sure that everyone is as proud of these aircraft as we are. When you look at this slide, this is an amazing accomplishment. You see the top of the slide, but in the last 6 days, the G650 has been on a record run. I'm not going to rattle off all those records, but there are a couple there that are quite interesting. The Tokyo to New York and the New York to Paris were previously held by a competitor, and I'll let you guess which one. In total, the 650 and 650ER have earned about 70 city pairs. The interesting thing about the city pairs that are shown up there is the New York to Paris was previously held by one of our competitors' aircraft, and this record beats that by 36 minutes. The Tokyo to New York is even more amazing. This beats a competitor's aircraft by 1 hour and 20 minutes. So truly a testament of the speed capability of these aircraft and how they can perform around the world to actually save the principal and the customer this tremendous amount of time savings on their hard day's work.
Great, and we also have a special delivery announcement we'd like to make, and I'd like to invite our partner, Mike Silvestro, CEO of FlexJet, to join us, please.
So last week was an important week for us. We have been working with FlexJet for several years now. We delivered some G450s in the recent past, but last week we delivered the very first G650 to FlexJet. We're very proud of the day. The relationship has gone extremely well for us and hopefully for them as well, as we start out on what is a long-term benefit for both our companies and our customers. Our teams have worked well together. We've helped the FlexJet team designed some incredible interiors that I think are very emblematic of their brand, and we look forward to supporting them all around the world in the success of the program, and I really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you for having me. It was quite a celebration in Cleveland last Friday. We had our 650 arrive, and Ken McGee, on behalf of Ken, our chairman, we took it around the patch and did a 500-foot low pass across the field and came into the fire truck salute with all of our employees and some customers and members of the media. So we had a lot of fun with it. Mark, congratulations on your success. I had to share a funny story. Last night I was invited to dinner, and not one but two of the retired directors of aviation had flown G1s.
Oh, wow.
So when I saw your picture up there about 50 years ago, it's quite a lineage. But we're excited at FlexJet. We're excited to be a launch partner, launch customer for the G500, which we get next year. We've been flying 450s now for several years. And of course, we get our second 650 here in just a handful of weeks.
Yeah.
So we're striving to be your best customer, Mark. So hopefully we're never going to do that.
Yeah, this is a good partnership for us. I think the airplanes are going to do a great job for you, and we appreciate your
You bet.
confidence.
Thank you very much for
Very
having me.
much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mike, and congratulations to you and the entire FlexJet team. As you heard Mike say, FlexJet will be our North American-based launch partner for the G500. And we're doing a ton of work to prepare for those entry into service. So Derek, would you take us through what we're doing on the product support side?
Sure. I'm honored to represent over 4,000 product support employees worldwide. And we are looking forward to providing the same industry-leading care for the Gulfstream G500 and G600 that we do for the other 2,600 aircraft in the Gulfstream fleet. We've actually been preparing for this for years, and we've had an experienced maintenance team embedded with this program from the onset. And our early involvement has allowed us to ensure that components are easy to access and maintain, and that we have all the supporting information and materials ready at launch. We've made an incredible investment in developing and validating new maintenance procedures, publications, training programs, tooling, and spare parts. And based on our own experiences working with the flight test aircraft, we anticipate a smooth entry into service. We're also continuing to invest in new facilities and adding more technicians to support continued fleet growth. First, I'm excited to announce our new factory-owned maintenance facility at the Van Nuys Airport near Los Angeles. We're building a 43,000 square foot service center with another 24,000 square feet of shop and office space. And this facility will also be located adjacent to a new FBO run by our sister company, Jet Aviation. We've had a fast team in Van Nuys since 2013, and the new hangar will allow us to continue to expand our capabilities at the busiest business aviation airport in Southern California. Customers can also continue to use Gulfstream Long Beach factory-owned service center, located 45 miles away for heavier maintenance events. And speaking of fast teams, we're also adding a new unit to support operators in and around Boston on the East Coast. The new fast unit will include factory authorized and trained technicians and a custom truck outfitted and equipped with spare parts to be able to quickly reach Logan, Bedford, and other nearby airports. Between these two new locations, we'll be able to serve over 150 current Gulfstream operators and be well positioned and prepared for upcoming deliveries of our two newest aircraft, the Gulfstream G500 and G600.
Awesome, thank you, Derek. Well, I think what's important to take away from all of this is really our customer-centric focus. Every Gulfstream comes with a promise, and we view every touch point as a chance to make a difference. Because when you're a steward of a brand, as we all are, good is never good enough. We're a purpose-driven organization with a singular mission, and that's to create and deliver the world's finest aviation experience. And that's from start to finish. That's what makes Gulfstream unique, and I encourage you all to come out and take a look and come discover it for yourself. So we'd like to invite you to come out this afternoon. We have a special media open house from 4 to 5:30. Transportation will be provided, and thank you very much for your time. At this time, we will take any questions.